Has anyone ever done something terrible to you? Have you ever hated someone else? It can be easy for us to feel resentment towards others, but is there a better way? In the rest of the video, I'm going to be discussing why Jesus told us to love our enemies and how this can be a transformative idea for you today. I'll be looking at this from both a biblical perspective and also a psychological one. If you want to learn more about how the Bible can apply to you in your everyday life, feel free to hit the like and subscribe buttons. A reading from the Gospel according to Luke. But to you who are listening, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. If someone slaps you on one cheek, turn to them the other also. If someone takes your coat, do not withhold your shirt from them. Give to everyone who asks you, and if everyone takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have them do to you. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who are good to you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners do that. And if you lend to those from whom you expect repayment, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners, expecting to be repaid in full. But love your enemies, do good to them, and lend to them without expecting to get anything back. Then your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High, because He is kind to the ungrateful and wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured into your lap. For the measure you use, it will be measured to you. The Gospel of the Lord. Why does Jesus say that we should love our enemies? Well, if you don't love your enemies, that means that you only love your friends. And if you only love your friends, that means that you only love those who love you back. But this isn't really difficult. Anyone loves those that love them back. So the real question is, can you love your enemy without expecting anything in return? And in this sense, love doesn't just mean some fleeting feeling. It means to actually do good towards them. So can you do good towards your enemy? Did you know you can actually like someone more after doing a favour for them? The Ben Franklin effect is a cognitive bias in which we like someone more after helping them out. In a sense, we trick our brains into thinking that we must like them, otherwise why would we have done a favour for them? This can be applied to Jesus' teaching of how we should love our enemies, because if we do an act of kindness towards our enemies, it means that we're actually going to end up liking them more, which will in turn make ourselves feel happier. If you want to explore the Ben Franklin effect further, I'll add a link in the YouTube description below of a YouTube short by Ali Abdaal in which he explains the effect. Let's look at the counterfactual argument. What happens when we hate our enemies? Well, best case scenario, we're just going to have hate in our hearts, which doesn't benefit anyone. And worst case scenario, that hate is going to poison our hearts, leading to more resentment and potentially causing us to do evil to others. At that point, are you any better than your enemy? Can you actually be grateful for your enemies? Chris Williamson spoke about his earlier experiences and how it made him a better person today. But can we apply this into being grateful for our enemies? Premise 1, you experience suffering from your enemies. Premise 2, you use that suffering and become a better person. Premise 3, you appreciate the better person you are today. Premise 4, you appreciate the cause of what made you a better person, which is your enemies, and therefore love your enemies. Now, this isn't to say that I condone any sort of suffering from enemies or that you should do it, and also that every single instance of suffering has some sort of instrumental good purpose, because it isn't necessarily. However, it is to say that there are cases where you can actually be grateful for your enemies, and this could lead on to how you can be grateful for suffering in general. So what do you think? Is it realistic to love your enemies, or is this too idealistic? Does it depend on the context, or should it be done in every situation? I'd love to hear your thoughts and perspectives in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.